Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. This one won't be long. Um, Charlie Kirk, the dude that killed him, well, unalived him. They claim they lost the um the video of him turning himself in, and it has gone missing. Here's the thing. Police officers in America are probably the most corrupt, liars, falsifying police reports. I wouldn't even be surprised if one of them cops took that video and sold it to somebody. Because, see, all the corruption in policing, I wouldn't put nothing past them. I wouldn't even doubt that one of them took it and destroyed it. How the hell do you lose a video of somebody turning themselves in? See, I don't believe these cops. Remember, these are police officers in Utah, all right? And if something went missing, one of them cops or a bunch of those cops are involved in it. Or somebody paid them to get rid of that tape. But I don't believe it just got shuffled somewhere and lost. I don't believe that for one moment. Mm-mm. See, y'all like your cops shady here in America. You like them shady, you like them lying, and you like them getting out of everything when they are indeed guilty. So I don't know how to feel about this, but I'm just not buying this missing story. I'm not buying it. So anyway, I'm going to show you the videos of what people are saying, but I really think somebody got that tape. They took it. One of those cops got it, or they know who has that tape. They know who got it. That's what I believe. I wish I would sit around believing these old lying ass cops up in here. I don't believe nothing they say. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. So evidence is now missing. Come on. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Not these clowns you got up in here called cops. Uh-uh. They had to do something. Thank you, y'all.
Concerning part of what's going on with the Charlie Kirk case. And when I say it's concerning, it's absurd. And it involves the FBI and it involves just the investigation. So apparently, the individual out there who got the clearest footage of Charlie Kirk, remember, we don't have the official footage from the event that was taken from Charlie's cameras. They refused to release that, which is, to me, pretty concerning, because as the organization TPUSA or anybody involved, a big part of it is making sure the public knows no crap is going on. Anyways, the FBI apparently called this guy and told him to delete the video. Yeah, not sketchy at all.
Bet you didn't see this.
So originally when I sent this video into the FIB for tips, I thought I was doing a service and, to Charlie and helping out. So it started off where I got in contact, was talking to someone at the local field office there in my local state. And then it jumped up a few levels. Then I was talking to someone on the national level. That person had called me back and they had said, because this was your friend, I think it's best that you erase the video from your phone because it's just going to give you PTSD. And then call another time to ask if I erased it. That was the first time that I felt like it was even right to post these videos. That was on my other account that was gone and just was removed after 5 years of building it. But so I got a call back and was asked to confirm that it was gone and again, that's when I started sharing, posting, and saving on many different hard drives in many different places. It's been crazy.
So this guy has the best footage out there, period. So this is it. So we can see everything very clearly. Everybody's seen the actual footage before, so I don't need to play it, but it's a very clear video. So the question becomes, why did the FBI want this guy to remove the footage? Apparently he posted it on one of his accounts that he's been building for 5 years, and it was just removed. It was deleted from the internet. I mean, is that normal? Is it normal for the FBI to be like, instead of saying, wow, thank you for helping our investigation, you have provided a great service to us because we don't know what the we're doing, clearly. Instead, it's, I don't know, you may get PTSD. The entire country is fucked up in their head from what's happened right now. I wouldn't call it PTSD. I mean, people who don't like blood and people who are just extra sensitive to this stuff, sure, maybe. But everyone in the country right now is not feeling good in the head right now as far as what happened to one of our fellow Americans. He got shot in the neck when an entire security team was around him. But this is the FBI heading the investigation, and it seems very on point, right?
A news station put a FOIA request in for some footage of Tyler Robinson walking into the police station, and here is what they got. This is from KUTV. 2 News investigates uncovered possible missing surveillance video of Tyler Robinson turning himself in to the Washington County Sheriff's Office just days after allegedly pew-pewing and unaliving Charlie Kirk. Our job was not to interview. Our job was to just get him here, said Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby on September 17th. Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. 2 News filed public records requests for the Washington County Sheriff's Office for video showing Tyler Robinson entering the Washington County jail and holding area and video of Robinson in a holding room. We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request, as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area, wrote a records officer with the Sheriff's Office. Holding room video was denied as part of the investigation. A few weeks later, 2 News re-upped the request in a more generalized fashion, inquiring for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into Washington County Sheriff's Office. Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period, wrote a records officer. When asked if the video was shared with any law enforcement or any legal agency, the department responded, "It is my understanding it was never sent out to any agency." 2 News took questions to a criminal defense attorney, Rudy Batista, of 26 years in Utah, who works on capital cases, including a current case in Utah County involving the death penalty. For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available, Batista said. If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would be expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement, but instead, the letter leads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give you free access to the press. So this is a problem. Either they don't have it and they never had it, or they're denying freedom of press, or they just, fucked up and they don't have it. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. This seems pretty explosive to me, but that is just my opinion. I would think that something like this is very simple. We just want to see Tyler Robinson, the man who assassinated, allegedly, Charlie Kirk. We just want to see him walking into the sheriff's office, but instead we can't get that footage. It's not readily available to us, and it's not something that we're asking for that is, all that out there. We just want to see the suspect walking into the office, but they don't have that, or they're not providing it. And either way, it's problematic.
They knew about the roof access and did not even send a coffee-grabbing intern to sit in the stairwell or block the roof access. No, they said someone else will take care of it. Why hire private security then? At worst, the conspiracy theories are that they let it happen. I'm not here to entertain or play those games, just to cover this, which is breaking news from KUTV, missing evidence in the Charlie Kirk case. This is strange, my friends. All I can say is there is certainly something going on that we're not privy to. Now, by all means, I know a lot of people want to jump to the immediate, most extreme of conspiracy theories. I do not believe that is appropriate. I do not believe that is how we should handle these things. I did a few videos already debunking a lot of the claims against Turning Point USA, their 990 forms, and while I do agree, when people bring up these forms and say, why was Turning Point shuffling money to these 3 other shell companies? There are interesting questions about whether or not it's unethical behavior. But some of these guys frame it in such a way that they immediately try to make it seem like Turning Point's covering something up. In one instance, the guy says, why are the 990s missing? Missing implies they should be there and they're not. As if, for some nefarious reason, they're unavailable. In fact, my response is no, the 990s are just unavailable. It could be that they're filed late. Questions about whether or why tax filings are made late certainly are fair. But to imply malice when all we know is sometimes people don't file their taxes on time, that's really it. In fact, for all we know, the taxes were literally filed on time and for some reason just not made available through these 990 tracking websites. Or maybe it was filed just a month ago and they've not yet been put up publicly for public review. There's a lot of reasons. Right now, I think it's important to gather the evidence and lay it out and try and see where it brings us instead of what these other people are doing and saying there's palm guns, exploding guns. There's one where it's like, Charlie was actually shot from behind, but it was a guy in the bushes and the guy in the bushes would be in front of Charlie. Like, these conspiracy theories are not helping anybody. Now, this story about missing evidence could compromise the case, in which case this is CBS News. This is KUTV, CBS local affiliate. This is not random internet conjecture. And we got to understand what this means. But my friends, to be fair, we do have a sponsor for today's segment, and it is Backyard Butchers. And I do tremendously respect not only the delicious meat that they provide, but the sponsoring of the show. Use promo code Tim at Backyard Butchers. Go to backyardbutchers.com/Tim, and you can get 30% off plus free shipping. But wait, there's more. My friends, Big Ag shouldn't be at your table. Thanksgiving's coming up. They could position themselves. Let me put it like this. If Robinson or whoever you think did it was able to walk up without being stopped and get on the roof, the argument about they couldn't do it without permission is BS. It's BS. Now, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to pull up our friend Grok. Then I'm going to say, I'm going to check this. Are there any local laws against flying drones near UVU? Let's just see what it says. Searching the web. Utah Valley University in Orem has a detailed internal policy that effectively acts as a local restriction on campus property. Well, not a law in the governmental sense. Violent, it can result in a university disciplinary action, trespassing charges, or involvement from local law enforcement. Funny that I was told by people thought he meant there's a building, a structure called the Crowd Building. No. He said we had footage of the crowd growing in size. And then he said on the phone, the footage, that meant they had drone footage from that day. Now, I'm not here to tell you what it means. You comment. But I am here to point out the security team did not even send a donut-eating coffee gopher to stand on the stairwell in front of the roof access. Come on. They said, yeah, the cops will take care of it, I guess. They didn't do their jobs. And that's the best case scenario. The worst case is you get all the crazy conspiracy stuff. He also claimed publicly they couldn't fly drones. What are you talking about? Frank said they had drone footage. What were you doing? Who were flying the drones? And if you did fly drones, why lie about it now? The reason I bring this up, I'm not a big fan of getting into the conspiracies, the theories. I know a lot of people are screaming cover up and things like that. That's never been my MO. I'm not a fan. But this is CBS News saying there's possible missing evidence they need. And there's weird questions about the failures of the security company. And more importantly, if all is said and done, and the evidence says Robinson did it and they prove it, so be it. But I also still think it's important to point out, considering this case, with all due respect, and I mean that in the literal sense, with respect that is due to you, to Charlie's security team, these errors must be pointed out. And I will say, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. Based on the news reports I've seen and read from, I personally would never hire that security team or anyone involved. It's up to you. It's up to you. I hope they put cameras in that courtroom, and I hope they get us real evidence, and I hope we conclude this. We don't need the infighting. With that being said, should stories like this continue? We'll talk about them. Smash the like button, share the show, stay tuned, more to come. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next segment.
This is wild. Salt Lake City KUTV is now reporting that the surveillance footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself into authorities is missing. 2 News filed a public records request asking for this footage, and they got this response. Quote, "We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request, as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area." Which is weird because it was public national news that Tyler Robinson surrendered at the sheriff's office. He was taken into a building marked authorized personnel only. Robinson was kept in the back offices of the sheriff's office and turned over to the FBI and other law enforcement upon their arrival just before 6 a.m. on Friday. So where is this footage? And remember, authorities knew that he was turning himself in because they had negotiated a gentle surrender. So you have to wonder now, did it ever exist? Were cameras turned off? Or did this footage go missing? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Breaking news, there is no surveillance footage of Tyler Robinson, the shooter of Charlie Kirk, turning himself into the police. This is a new investigation that was just released to the news, and someone asked for this footage. They said, "Hey, can we have the footage?" And they said, "No, sorry, he didn't enter the jail area, so this doesn't exist." They said, "Well, can we see him entering the office where he turned himself in?" And they said, "Well, it's been 30 days, so this footage no longer exists." Take a look at this clip.
My friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
Well, y'all, I thought these people had high IQs. If they got high IQs, they shouldn't be making these kind of mistakes. There should be no errors in this entire case. Everybody got high IQs, right? So much for that. So, according to what they're saying, there's like no footage of this dude turning himself in. So it don't exist. So is Tyler behind bars or is this dude free? So, hey, look like y'all got an issue you need to deal with. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, look, y'all, they're already dropping the ball in the case. But I don't think it's gonna be televised because I believe this goes to federal court. So if it goes to federal court, they don't take cameras inside the courtroom. It'll be just like Diddy. They'll just be showing you composites of, things going on in the courtroom, but that's about it. That's all you'll get. You're not gonna get anything else. Mhm. Yeah, a lot of people, Carlette, a lot of people believe it's an inside job. That's why they keep pointing out the fact that his wife is acting strange, and you know how she always got that tissue dabbing her eyes and you never see any tears. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Mhm. Well, the FBI couldn't even catch him. Remember, his own father had to turn him in according to what they're saying, so they couldn't even catch this dude on their own. Yeah, well, We shall see. I'm sure they're going to try to push this case. I would not be surprised if it comes up sometime in 2026, somewhere along the line. But we shall see, you know? We shall see and see if they ever find this alleged missing tape. It don't sound like they will at all. So, hey, sound like they got problems, y'all. They got issues. They got many, many, many issues. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you for being here. We'll be touching on more topics tomorrow. I'm going to definitely do the other pregnant woman that was discharged from the hospital and then she had her baby in the back of her husband's truck. So I'll be touching on that story tomorrow and along with other stories. So thank you. And I also want to say thank you to Curly Locks for your super chat. Thanks, Miss Lisa, for all you do to keep us informed. Well, thank you for coming and showing your support. I deeply appreciate it. So, y'all, if nothing else, I hope I made this a real entertaining day for you. So, the news is collapsing. Well, that's why so many people are now turning to social media for their news because mainstream news, they're not going to touch on things that you really want to hear. You know, they're not going to touch on anything you really want to hear. So that's why everybody is now turning to news online and just going to, certain channels to listen to what you want to hear. Mhm. So y'all have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow. Shalom, family.